Good morning to you, and let's first talk about the courthouse security issue, because I think that's a big deal for a lot of people because of certain events that have happened over the last 12 months, and you guys were able to really get a grant that's going to help out courthouse security.
And this is an application for a grant, and sometimes these grant processes, you don't get all you're asking for.
Sure.
So there's some question marks there, but we're very close to getting this grant. We applied for about a third of this amount over a year ago and did not get it. Unfortunately, a tragedy we had in the courthouse back this last spring, as often happens, then it loosens the money.
Sure.
We began to make preparations we should have been making all along, but it looks like we're going to get there.
Excellent. All right. Another thing that came up yesterday was this issue of receiving a grant from the state of Texas, because we've got a couple of capital murder trials coming up.
Yes, and these are very expensive. We have to do them. Mm-hmm. Okay, we just, there's no way we're going to let somebody commit a murder, and we're not going to go to whatever expense we have to go to have a trial for them. It has to be a fair trial, which means that we have to provide, if they're indigent, we have to provide the defense for the other side and that cost and all. For instance, just in the one case the Supreme Court has ordered back after 28 or 29 years for resentencing somebody that was ordered to be executed and still hasn't been. The figures I've been given by the district judges is somewhere between $500,000 and $700,000 just to retry for resentencing in that case. So anything that's available out there for special situations like we're having here with these capital murders, then we want to go out and get that grant money. You and I know it's not free. That is taxpayers' money. But it's been set aside exactly for things like this, and we find ourselves in that situation.
You know, I don't guess I ever thought about that, but when a capital murder trial happens, the county is on the hook for the money, even if it's a change of venue.
Yes. In fact, it can be more expensive for us than a change of venue because we have to provide whatever funds the other county says they need at their rates. Might be different than ours. Might be a visiting judge that we're having to pay for extra and all. By the way, before we get out of time today, I got something really, really important that I want you to scoop all the other media in Texarkana on. Okay, and that is, it has to do with redistricting.
Oh, okay.
We have set the date for our hearing. It's 2 weeks from tonight.
Oh, excellent. Good, okay. Good.
But did you hear the key word?
Hearing.
Night.
Oh, night. Yes, that's a wonderful thing.
Now, guess what follows the hearing?
What's that?
A commissioner's court session.
Oh, is that right?
At night.
Excellent. Good. Congratulations.
Now, it may not seem like a big deal to the average citizen. You all have really busy schedules, but we've been battling for some time now trying to get the commissioners consider having some evening court sessions. Let's see if more of the public wouldn't turn out. And so if the public doesn't force us to move from commissioner's courtroom into the central jury room, for instance, because of the size of the crowd, then I don't know how long it'll be before I can bring this issue of trying to have evening commissioner's court sessions again.
Yeah, something we've been talking about for quite a long time to try to make it more available for people to be able to attend these meetings. So when we have the opportunity, we need to show up. Speaking of redistricting, is it going to affect the county that much?
No. That's the good news. Two of the precinct lines are going to stay exactly the same, and that's precinct 3 and 4, and that covers most of the county.
Yeah, that's West End, yeah.
And back over on the east end, the precinct 1 is the southern end of Texarkana area, and precinct 2 is the northern end of the area. And we have to swap. I don't have the exact number yet, but let's say, for instance, 1,000 people have to be moved out of precinct 2 into precinct 1 because precinct 2's been growing in population, and it got us out of balance the last 10 years. And so it's going to be some section of, primarily it's going to affect voting precinct 3A. Okay. So it's, as far as the whole county goes, this is going to have a very small impact on changing where people vote, for instance. that's always irritating. You show up where you voted for the last 10 years, and you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be somewhere else. So it's going to be a very minimal change.
Excellent. Finally, before I let you go here, talk about the issue with the accounting practices. Where does everything stand with the bonds, the accounting practices, and all that?
Okay. Now, I think most people realize the number one issue here, our truth in taxation report a year ago was improper, and we've got to make it proper. And what it means is there was some $2.9 million over on the debt service side that should have been over in what we call the M&O side, the general fund side. And so we've got to move that over this year. It may sound like a small thing, but it's not a small thing. We run the risk of rollback tax election, things of that nature. And so we're working very carefully. The worst case scenario would be if it affected our excellent bond rating, like with groups like Moody. And so we've held off selling our bonds. We're going to sell the $35 million bonds for the widening project of Highway 82. We've held off on that because we don't want to run a risk right now of being rated lower and having a great deal of expense on this bond issue and any future ones. So we're going to get our house in order, then we'll come back and sell those bonds.
Excellent. Judge Sterling Lacy, thank you, sir, for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.